Now, commodities rallying today to two-year highs. My next guest sees growth opportunities in agriculture and coal, but warns that inflation is more of a risk than many investors might actually believe. Sandy Pomeroy is Managing Director and Portfolio Manager at Neuberger Berman. Her five-star Morningstar-rated Neuberger Berman Equity Income Fund has outperformed 98% of its peers this year. Sandy Pomeroy, good to have you with us on Bloomberg.
Thanks for having me.
So what is the thesis right now on inflation? I mean, we don't seem to see any inflation, at least reported by the government in the Consumer Price Index. But boy, if you look at sugar, you look at rice, gold, silver, I mean, the list goes on, there's inflation.
We would totally agree. We think that inflation is sort of hiding in plain sight, if you will. Everyone's speaking about deflation. There's a lot of concern because the government has just gone to quantitative easing. We think that a lot of this is very, very premature in the sense that we've got a lot of pricing pressure, cost pressure that's going to impact many companies that already has begun to emerge. We're seeing it in many commodities, and we think it's only a matter of time before that potentially could impact all the money that's been printed over the last couple of years and have real inflation take place as a monetary event as well.
So do you see that investors are looking to replace their paper assets with what they perceive to be hard assets, whether it be something that individuals consume or what's necessary for industry?
We don't see people doing that, and we think that's the opportunity, actually. Mostly, you've seen money flow into bond funds over the last 2 years, and we think that that is something that individual investors should be rethinking, because we think if you do end up with a more inflationary environment, that's going to be extremely negative for bonds, and we think equities offer you better protection, particularly equities like equity income, our strategy, which can offer you bond-like returns from a current income standpoint, but also offer you the potential for growth and the potential for keeping up with inflation should it manifest itself.
Now, one area of the commodity complex that you're focused on has to do with agriculture. Is it agricultural land, or is it the commodities that go into producing agricultural products, whether it be potash? We know that that's a subject of a takeover bid by BHP Billiton, or whether it's nitrogen fertilizer or any of the various seed companies that produce seeds for the farmers.
Yeah, in our global fund, we have the ability to play or invest in many different companies across many different countries. And one of the most interesting things about agriculture is so many ways to take advantage of it right now. Fertilizers is just one way to do it. And we do own potash. We own a company in Chile called SQM.
Sociedad y Química, right?
Yes, that's exactly
It's easier
right.
to say just SQM, I understand.
And but we also own a tractor company in China and another tractor company in Japan called Kubota. And then we also own an irrigation company in the United States called Lindsay Manufacturing. So by playing agriculture across many different sectors in many different countries, we've been able to find really great investments to take advantage of what we think is going to be a very persistent, long-term bull market that's underway.
All right, so that's talking about agriculture and agricultural commodities that are dug out of the ground. Another commodity that you're focused on gets dug out of the ground at times, out of mines or out of big mine pits, is coal. Why do you like coal?
Yes, it's very contrarian, and I even brought a sample to show you.
I like that. Very good. Is this metallurgical coal, or is this coal to use to heat homes to generate electricity?
This is actually metallurgical coal, which is definitely used for making steel. That has been embraced by many investors, that this market is tight and that there is an opportunity even still to invest in met coal.
I'll hold it for you. Okay. Go ahead. It's like your lump of coal in a stocking.
That's right. But we think actually one of the bigger undiscovered opportunities is actually in thermal coal. India has become a very large thermal coal importer. China swung in 2009 to being a large importer as well. They had been a large exporter. And every time we've seen China flip from being a large exporter of a commodity to being a large importer, there usually is what we call the great leap forward. It's when the price really moves up, and there's a huge opportunity to take advantage of that. We think thermal coal is on the cusp of that, and what's so wonderful is that investors really haven't embraced it, and this is a real opportunity, we think, right now.
Now, when you look at coal companies, do you want to be invested in companies that are focused on the domestic market here in the United States, or are you looking for those that are going to be supplying those needs that you describe in China?
Yeah, we've actually found opportunities both ways. We're very valuation sensitive whenever we look at any investment opportunity. We think they're great investments in the United States. States. Alpha Natural Resources would be one of those that we've been invested in. But we also think a new company called Mongolian Mining, which just came public a couple weeks ago, is also an interesting opportunity. We also own a company in China, International Mining Machinery, which makes equipment to mine out of the ground.
We're going to have to leave it there.
Okay.
Sandy Pomeroy coming to us from Newburgh Bourbon, sharing your thoughts on commodities. Thank you very much.